everyone, it's Debbie Mirza, the author of The Covert Passive Aggressive Narcissist. Today I want to talk about self-love and why it is not selfish at all. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It literally is the most helpful thing you can do for the world and all the people in your life. And we were raised to think the opposite. And oftentimes, one thing to know about yourself, if you were involved with a covert narcissist, if you got in a relationship with them, or if you were raised by one, you are probably a very giving person, a very nurturing person, a very kind, tender-hearted person that cares about other people's hearts and other people's well-being. When we are that type of person, we are often raised to taught to sacrifice ourselves for others. We are taught that this is what love looks like, to be the doormat for people to walk on, to completely give of ourselves until we are exhausted and there's nothing left. That is not love. It is not love for someone to expect that of you. It's not love for someone to put that role on you, and that expectation and that requirement. You deserve so much more than that. So, self-love, I'm going to explain to you why it's so important that you work on yourself. And I know this is tricky now because we're in this day and age of selfies. And I know millennials get hit a lot for being, self-absorbed and entitled, and that definitely is there. Although I think there's a lot of that in people my age too, and they're people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. My kids actually work in a restaurant, and they said the people that frighten them the most are in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. The people that are like, and just expect the red carpet to be rolled out for them are actually not millennials. I think I should do a whole video on millennials and what I appreciate about them. So I bring that up because it's made it even more convoluted, the whole self-love, selfishness. And also, we've experienced narcissists who are 100% selfish. So let's talk about self-love and why it's not selfish. The more you work on yourself, the more you pursue your own passions, the more you do exercises to remind yourself of how lovable you are, how amazing you are, how wonderful you are, how beautiful you are, what is so special about you. You're building a foundation for yourself. And when you work on yourself and your own healing, the fruits of that are you become a more loving person. You become more peaceful, more compassionate. Because when you're showing compassion to yourself, you're creating this environment in yourself that is a compassionate being. And then you will naturally be more compassionate to other people. So the flip side of this, people are always asking, why do narcissists behave the way they do? And basically, our actions let other people know what is going on inside of us. If a person is hateful, that means there is hate, a lot of self-hate inside of them. If someone is controlling, they're very controlling with themselves. If someone is manipulative towards you, they're not clean in themselves. They're not being fully honest and caring for themselves. When you're someone who has a lot of care and concern and authenticity and honesty, you don't think about manipulating other people because that doesn't exist in your environment. That's like a foreign thing, a foreign way of thinking. So oftentimes people, narcissists can be described as people who love themselves so much, and that's the direct opposite. If they truly loved themselves, then they would be exuding love to you, and clearly they don't. So the more, I'll use myself as an example, the more I have worked on myself, the more I show myself compassion and care, and the more I am nurturing to myself. I have changed over the years, and my kids have even noticed, and they make comments about it. I'm a much different person than I was many years ago, even a couple years ago. I mean, I've always been the same Debbie, but working on myself, healing myself, filling myself with love and compassion has built this foundation in me that now I am able to love people better. I am able to feel compassion for other people even more, even though it's a natural thing inside me. So I think oftentimes too, when we're parents, we can give to our kids. And that's a wonderful quality, but we have to understand that when we give to ourselves, that is a huge gift to them, because they're also watching us and they're learning that it's okay for them to work on themselves, to heal themselves, because they've seen how that's affected who you are and who you are becoming. So I hope this is clear. I hope it's helpful. And I hope you feel encouraged to work on yourself, that's not selfish. Can you imagine if everybody on this planet worked on themselves and their own healing, and if every single person on this planet woke up every morning and said, I am worthy of love. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. If we all saturated ourselves in that, this would be an incredibly different place. And we would all be walking around noticing if someone else was hurting, and we would naturally exude love to that person because that's what exists inside of us. So becoming the safest place possible is such an altruistic goal. And if you don't know, I did write a book, The Safest Place Possible, that was my own journey, with a lot of helpful exercises for you, for your own self-love and self-healing journey. So I just want to leave you with the importance of this and what a service you're doing for humanity to not improve on yourself. I don't even really like the best version of myself. I don't know. Lots of words thrown around these days. But I don't know, becoming a container of love where, I'll come back to that book. The reason why, and I'll do a video on why I wrote that book. Maybe I'll do that next. Because I noticed in myself, just briefly, that I had not been a safe place to live. When we have berating messages to ourselves, we are not a safe place. You want to become so emotionally safe for yourself that when you're hurting, you think, whatever your name is, who would I go to? I'm to the point where when I'm hurting, I'm so glad Debbie's there. She is the first one I will call, because I know I'll always be met with love and compassion and understanding and encouragement. That's what happens when you work on yourself and when you become a container of love. You exude that everywhere you go, and your life will take on such a different feeling. So I encourage you to pursue your passions, notice what you love yourself, cherish yourself, be grateful for all the amazing qualities that you have. And I'm grateful to you watching these videos and caring, because you wouldn't care. If you didn't care, you wouldn't be watching this video. So I'm sending you my love. I'm sending you so much gratitude for who you are, and the efforts you're making. And it's challenging, I get it, but the rewards are incredible. And the way it will affect your relationships is incredible. And also, the more loving you become, you will recognize love. And you will recognize when something is not love. And that's huge. And you will never again get caught up with a covert narcissist, because this time you'll know the difference in the feeling. You'll know something's off because you'll be so connected to who you are. So it's a huge, huge thing to practice self-love, and it's a gift to the world. And I thank you for doing that in your own life and for being here. And I will talk to you soon.